an everlasting love. You are the God of all comfort who consoles all those who are suffering the death of Grandma today. You are the God of peace who has promised to pour your perfect peace into the hearts of your children who are going through the pain and suffering that brings with the loss of a precious loved one. God, I pray that you become our strength in this time of loss. God, that you are our hope in this time, and you are joy in this time of sorrow, and perfect peace in the turmoil that our hearts are facing today. God, we thank you that the sting of death has been broken forever and the curse of the grave has been destroyed through the death and resurrection of you, God. The power of death has been broken. For all who trust in your name are be saved. God, we ask that your presence be here. We ask that you watch over us. And God, whether it's a time to mourn, it's a time to hurt, to cry, God, it's also time to rejoice and be glad in the life that Grandma lived, the way she loved us, the way she cared for us, God. God, we thank you for everything you've done for us. Amen. So I'm Zach. I'm one of the grandkids, and I grew up maybe 30 seconds away from Grandma's house. I remember growing up, every day, me and Dylan would go out and just hang out at Grandma's house, play sports, and just have a good time there. And I just want to read a scripture, John 14, 1-3. It says, "Do not let your hearts be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. My Father's house has many rooms. If that were not so, why would I have told you that I'm going there to prepare a place for you? If I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back and take you to be with me, that you may also be where I am." And right now, I can say for certainty that Grandma is in her room with God right now. She's up there with Papa, and she's up there with Uncle Brock. And that brings comfort to me. Uncle Tim has a poem that he wanted to read for him. And it's called "When Great Trees Fall." When great trees fall, rocks on distant hills shudder. Lions hunker down in tall grass, and even elephants lumber after safety. When great trees fall in forests, small things recoil into silence, their senses eroded beyond fear. When great souls die, the air around us becomes light, rare, sterile. We breathe briefly. Our eyes, briefly, see with a hurtful clarity. Our memory, suddenly sharpened, examines, gnaws on kind words unsaid, promised walks never taken. Great souls die, and our reality bounds to them, takes leaves of us. Our souls, dependent upon their nurture, now shrink, wizened. Our minds, formed and informed by their radiance, fall away. We are not so much maddened as reduced to the unutterable ignorance of dark and cold caves. And when great souls die, after a period of peace blooms, slowly and always irregularly, spaces fill with a kind of electric vibration. Our senses restored, never to be the same, whisper to us. They existed. We can be, and be better, for they existed. Right now, I want to ask any close family, any immediate family members, if they want to share stories, to come up and say any stories they'd like to talk about.
Hi, I'm Randy, also one of the grandchildren. I grew up living next door to her until I was 4 years old. And I lived with her off and on for many years. And she helped raise 3 generations of our family. And without her, I don't know where most of us would be right now. Her nickname for me was her weekend kid, because every single weekend I was with her. It didn't matter if she was going on a trip to my Aunt Colleen's. It didn't matter where we were going. I was always her little shadow right behind her. 6 weeks ago, we took our last trip together to Louisiana. And I will always remember that trip because we talked about so many things, so many personal things, and how much we enjoyed and missed traveling together. But Nana, I will always miss the old lady. That's all I always called her, is my old lady. Thank you. Madison?
I am also a grandchild, Shannon's daughter. I'm going to stick to the script, so don't get upset. Mary Alice Moore Murphy. She was a great woman, also known as Butch, Butchie, Grandma, Gampaw. Yes, even Gampaw. My brother Isaac was known to call her when he was little, and she loved it. Nana or Nanny. She was a daughter, a sister, a mother, a friend, a caretaker, and many others. She could be anything to you because she loved all. She definitely had her own thoughts and opinions on things, but she knew she was not here to judge and would take you in just as you are. My entire life's joy each year was summer and winter when we would get to come to Arkansas. I loved staying up till 11 o'clock at night waiting for Grandma to get home from work and the stories she would tell about her patients who she loved so much and cared for as if they were her own family. In the summer each year, Grandma would have a pool for all of us kids on the back deck, and who really knew how much 3 feet of water could be so much fun for 10 kids. With a towel over her shoulder, she would cook and do her washing, listening to her soap operas by the little TV in the kitchen, or blaring her gospel music with her CD player. During the winter, a huge decorated Christmas tree with lights and blow-ups outside would always be a sight to see. The best winter of all was the winter of the major ice storm when we had to close ourselves off in certain parts of the house to keep all the heat in. Grandma loved to do puzzles and even still enjoyed them when she got her first iPad. I loved to see the posts on Facebook where she would make mistakenly meant to be a direct message or a comment on someone else's post, and we all remember her for all the songs she would sing. A bushel and a peck, you are my sunshine, good morning to you, bye, oh baby, and many others. These songs will be cherished for generations to come. And even though we had completely different religious views, her and I both loved to talk about spiritual things. And I will never forget her saying that she would pray to St. Anthony anytime anyone ever lost anything. I always admire her for her love and dedication to spiritual things, and I cannot wait to see her again. I think Tiffany wanted to say something.
Good morning, everybody. I get kind of nervous in crowds, so I'll keep it short. There are so many words for me to express how important my Nana was in my life. She has been an important part of my kid's life. She opened an opportunity for me that I will never be able to repay her for. She has given me the opportunity to be a better mother, daughter, and sister. So for that, I'm forever grateful, and she will forever be missed and never forgotten. Thank you, guys. Uncle Shannon?
I want to just thank everybody for coming to celebrate my mother's life. I had something all written up that I wanted to read and all that, but I just thought I would just instead speak from my heart about how my mother gave everything she ever had to make sure that her kids, grandkids, great-grandkids, extended family, anyone that she loved and didn't know could have everything that they needed to get through life. And I like to think that all the good things in me came from her, because she was such an influence in my life. And as we all today mourn in our own ways, I'd just like for everybody to stand for just a second, because I would like to just applaud my mother for doing such a good job for everybody she's ever done anything for. Thanks again, everybody, and anybody who wants to come by the house. We have a little gathering for a little food and stuff, and just if you want to come and just share stories with everybody. Thanks, y'all.
A few months ago when I came back from Europe, I got the opportunity to go eat dinner with my grandma. And towards the end of that dinner, she was talking, and she was saying how she was ready to go home. She didn't know about the cancer yet. She didn't know what was coming. But she said, whenever it comes, she's ready. She said she wants to be here for the kids. She wants to be here for all the grandkids, and she's going to do everything she can to fight for them and be there for them. She said she was ready to go home. And, we talk about, you heard stories about how she loved everybody she came into encounter with. Everybody she came into contact with, people could feel her love. They could feel that she wanted the best for them. And I think what captures the most is what Dylan wrote the other day on Mother's Day. He said, she taught me to read and write, taught me my times tables, and did spelling work with me every night, even when I pushed not to. She went to all my teacher conferences and took me to every football practice. One of my proudest moments was getting my high school diploma, not just because I graduated, but because I knew what it meant for my nanny. It's only right that today I celebrate who she was, to not only me, but to everyone around her. She was the strongest and hardest working woman I've ever met. She was my mama, even though she didn't have the title. Mom does not only have to be the woman who gives birth to you. A mom is someone who loves you and puts you above all else. A mom cares for you and always wants you to do your best. A mom takes you to all your practices for sports and spends every night going over schoolwork with you. A mom is so much more than a word or even a title. A mom is someone that loves you with everything in her soul. That was my nanny to me. I love you in a bushel of peck and a hug around the neck. I think that just sums up who Grandma was. Everyone she came into contact with, she loved. And, we don't know God's plan. We don't know why. He took her away on Mother's Day. And every year Mother's Day rolls around, it'll be sad, it'll hurt, and we'll feel the pain of that. But it's also that on Mother's Day, remember the type of mother she was, the type of love she had for her kids, her grandkids, and everybody. Thank you for your stories. Now I'm going to ask my twin brother Aaron to come up and play Amazing Grace on the saxophone.
I'm going to try to get through this twice, and I might just play it through one time. This is a really special song I know Grandma really enjoyed, and that I played for her several times. So I appreciate y'all letting me get to do this for her. This one definitely is for Grandma.
a heap, a barrel and a heap, and I'm talking in my sleep about you, about you. 'Cause I love you, a bushel and a peck, you bet your pretty neck I do. A doodle-oo-doo-doo, a doodle-oo-doo-doo-doo. I love you, a bushel and a peck, a bushel and a peck, though you make my heart a wreck, make my heart a wreck, and you make my life a mess, make my life a mess, yes, a mess of happiness about you, about you. 'Cause I love you, a bushel and a peck, you bet your pretty neck I do. A doodle-oo-doo-doo, a doodle-oo-doo-doo-doo. I love you, a bushel and a peck, a bushel and a peck, and it beats me all to heck, it beats me all to heck, how I'll ever tend the farm, ever tend the farm when I wanna keep my arm about you, about you. 'Cause I love you, a bushel and a peck, you bet your pretty neck I do. A doodle-oo-doo-doo, a doodle-oo-doo-doo-doo, a doodle-oo-doo-doo-doo, a doodle-oo-doo-doo-doo.
Now, I heard Grandma sing that a lot, but never heard the actual whole song before. I want to thank y'all again for coming out today to celebrate Grandma's life. Let me close in prayer first. God, thank you. Thank you for everything you've done, God. You used your love through Grandma to show what your love is. God, I only hope to show half the amount of love that Grandma showed. All she wanted was the best for everybody she came around. God, and as we mourn, as we're sad, I pray that we find hope in you, that we find strength in you, God. Because we know Grandma did. Her joy came through you. Her happiness came through you, God. Let us not forget what Grandma did for you, God. There's so many people in this room that wouldn't be where they are if it wasn't for her. She's given people chances that they probably never would have gotten, God. We thank you for that. Thank you for all you've done for us and what you continue to do through us, God. In your name we pray. Amen. Again, we're having a ceremony at my grandma's house. Everybody here is welcome. Come by, get some food, have some conversation, just reminisce on who Grandma was and what she did for us. Thank y'all so much.